I can't talk about that now. I can't even mention the box now because it'll give everything away.
Yeah, no, got to be secretive, super sneaky.
All right, let me
right.
sort this out so that we can find ourselves.
Oh, we are live. Okay, let's just check to make sure we're actually on streaming. We are indeed.
We are streaming.
We are, yes. Okay, so hello, good evening, ladies and gentlefolk. Welcome to Worst Parts Gaming. I am Matt. We have Will and James with me.
Yay!
As per usual.
Who's Brad Pitt?
Oh,
yeah, I see.
Oh, you're watching Fury?
Good shout. Good shout.
That's enough.
Today, we are focusing mostly on how to... Hi, Sam. How you doing? Today, we're focusing mostly on how to go about starting an army for 30k. We'll talk about the different options that you've got when it comes to an army. Oh, and hi, both Sams, actually. I've just spotted that both Sams are with us. So talking about the different armies you've got available, whether you want to go with... shut up, Will. Whether you want to go with Marines, or you've got things like Solar Auxilia, which are basically like the Imperial Guard of 30k. Mechanicum, big stompy robots. They're pretty much the only three options at the moment, aren't they? Oh,
Custodes and Sisters.
Yeah, Custodes and Sisters. Militia cults, I guess, which are...
I suppose you could... Did you say... I suppose you could do pure Knights, which is slightly different. Can you do pure Knights? Can you do pure?
I believe so, yeah.
The Questa Ordinatus, or whatever they're called.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, hello.
Oh,
I can hear you.
I'm here.
So we're covering all of this off. This came about through a couple of screenshots that James sent us earlier, actually, from...
Did he?
Yeah, from a Facebook page, the Wargamer Online Facebook page. Thank you very much, Sam.
Like, I did see those.
We have a couple of questions about starting a 30k army, and so we thought we'd have a conversation about that this evening.
Yeah.
So do you want to kick us off, James?
Yeah, so we start with what Horus Heresy is all about, basically.
Yeah, good plan.
So, the Horus Heresy is based before like chapters existed. So it's legions. So it's tens of thousands of Space Marines, kind of like the Roman legions, that kind of thing.
The way it should be.
Yeah, the way it should be.
Absolutely.
So you've got like all the Primarchs. They're all still alive. Well, majority of them are still alive. There's two that are missing.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah. So it's basically the Horus Heresy is the battles between the traitorous legions that are led by Horus, and the loyalist legions, which are led by the Emperor of Mankind himself.
Yes.
So
James is sounding like a Magos talking through a rebreather. I wonder if you're having some connection issues, James, after having sorted out
really?
No, or maybe it's the mic.
It doesn't sound like
the mic closer. Let me move it even closer.
It doesn't sound like connection issues. It just sounds like a crackly mic.
Yeah, a bit crackly.
Okay. Shall I switch? Let me just quickly switch my microphone.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's connection. It's just
But yes, while James is doing that, to continue.
Does that sound better?
Oh, yeah. That is much better.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Blue Snowball for the win.
Yeah.
So the Horus Heresy is the battles between Horus and the Emperor of Mankind. So it's big legions, big armies, Space Marines versus Space Marines mainly.
Yeah. There's no Xenos at the moment.
There's no Xenos at the moment. So they were fighting Orcs in the Great Crusade and Eldar.
Yeah,
so
they were definitely they're in sort of the narrative still. They're in the lore still. They're just not in the Horus Heresy game at the moment.
No. They're about Eldar, are about Orcs, are about Necrons, so to speak, should I say?
Necrons could, in theory, I suppose, appear, but I don't think they'd really started. The only ones that we definitely shouldn't see are Tau and Tyranids.
Yeah, correct.
they aren't about yet in 30k.
No. So yeah, it's just mainly Space Marines, humanity, that kind of thing. So and well, would you like the Mechanicum, but they're not really. They're kind of humans, but they're not humans. They're robots.
they're part of the Imperium, aren't they? So I guess.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know more, Matt, because obviously you've got 40k Mechanicum, and I assume you've read through the Codex. No. Well, like I only really know the Mechanicum from 30k, from the Heresy books.
Yeah.
Is there much change between 30k Mechanicum and 40k, or have they evolved much, or
not particularly? It was just the split out of the Mechanicum and the Skitari in the previous codex in 7th.
Yeah. Skitari are about in 30k.
They're completely different from what they look like, from what they are in 40k. But yeah, I'm not sure there's much of a difference really.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just quickly answering Sam's question. I mean, you got the Marachnids. There are a lot of Xenos races, but things you can actually play, it's going to be Space Marines, Mechanicum, Solar Auxilia.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't have said the Mega Arachnid were Tyranids.
No, I don't think
they were more. I felt like they were more sort of technologically adapted rather than biologically adapted.
I've always pictured them as like slightly more robotic, metallic Starship Troopers.
Yes, that was always the imagery I had. Yeah, agreed.
I mean, to be fair, if you wanted to, I think if you had like a custom painted Tyranid army and made some house rules for them, they would look very cool.
Agreed.
It's just nothing officially supported by GW.
Agreed.
Forge World.
Yeah, so it's basically great battles and things like that. So so they are
and like millions and millions of tanks and
which is kind of carries off.
Finished, James.
It kind of carries over to the rules because I think they're meant to be larger games, aren't they?
I believe so. Yeah.
Like the average game they recommend is like, is it 2,500?
I believe so.
I mean, I've got some of the. I've put a post up on our Facebook group, asking people to post up pictures of their armies and stuff, so people so we can show what a rough army looks like. Like, well, not a rough. What a 2,500 point army looks like. What a 3,000 point army looks like.
Loads of tanks.
You'll find that they're even though it's higher points than what 40k used to be, the armies are still quite smaller. Unless your name's Callum and you go, you go really troop heavy, because you'll find that
80 infantry in a 1,000 point list.
You'll find that the toys, so to speak, are a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So you need to play bigger point games to bring the fun stuff. It's like I've got a Mastodon sitting over there. That's like the best part of 800 points fully kitted. Points of unit that go inside it. So you think that's 2,000 points of my army almost inside a foot square box.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fairly tough foot square box to crack, but
yeah. I mean,
so just so you get an idea, like the points are a lot higher, but the armies are generally smaller unless you go like full on Marine Horde kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's quite fun. So
it very much is, definitely.
I suppose the things you need to play as well. I mean, I've lined up the books that you need. So if you want all the rules for the Horus Heresy, apart from 2 more legions, which are in another book, you've got all the red books. I mean, I know that's probably the best part of £200.
Yeah, it's quite pricey.
It is pricey. That's another thing. It is.
That's all you need. Yeah. So
when it comes to the books,
but you don't need to spend that. I mean, you can just buy the rule book, the Legion book.
It all depends exactly. It depends on what it is you want to do. If you want to do a Legion list, a Space Marine Legion list, then you need the rule book and the Age of Darkness Legions and the Age of Darkness Army list.
Yeah, that's it.
You just need those 3 books. The reason being, the Age of Darkness Army book. The Age of Darkness Army List book is basically a non-Legion specific codex. It's kind of like Codex Space Marines 30k edition.
Yeah.
So it hasn't got any Legion traits or anything like that. So you can paint them whatever color you like, but you won't get any of the special rules for doing such, because you don't obviously have those rules in that book.
Yeah,
and that's where the Age of Darkness Legions book comes in, and it gives you all the special rules for the different actual legions themselves.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the thing: you buy one book and you've got the rules for all 18. Well, not all 18 legions, but the majority of the legions.
15 of the 18 legions. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's still White Scars have got rules, Blood Angels have got rules, and Dark Angels have got rules.
Yeah,
but
they're not
fully
fleshed out.
No.
But they're there to come. I mean, they're the last of the legions to come out.
I was going to say, they're nearly done. They're nearly done with everything now.
Once they come out, once the next Black Book comes out, then I think they're going to redo the Red Books again, probably.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, for those people that are completely new to Heresy and don't know what the difference is between the types of books, so the Black Books tend to be more story based. So they'll give you a load of.
I've got one behind me.
Yeah, they'll give you a load of like campaign background and some background on some of the legions and famous battles of a certain period and stuff like that. And the Red Books are purely rules and like a codex type thing.
Size difference. I mean, this is the rule book compared to the Black Book. So these are a lot more expensive than this.
They are, yeah.
They're such nice books.
If you're interested in your fluff and you like your backstory, then I definitely recommend buying the Black Books.
The Black Books,
they're very, very, very good reads.
They really are. They really are good books. They're really well made. I mean, I actually need to buy a new Legions book because my book's starting to fall apart because I take mine in the work van with me almost every day, and it just gets thrown around the van. And I mean, I've had that just over a year now, so and it's slowly falling apart. But they are really well made. I just abuse mine.
Okay, so let's go. I
did make a list.
You did, yes.
Well, let me try.
We didn't check it twice, unfortunately. One time a year, I guess.
It's not
so, if I were to tell you I know nothing about the Horus Heresy, or rather, I know a bit of the history of the Horus Heresy, so I know what it is. I know it's the baddies against the Emperor and all that sort of stuff, and it's the big defining bit of history of the Games Workshop sci-fi universe.
Yeah.
I want to start a 30k army.
Okay.
I don't know what to collect.
Give me £1,000 and I will go and buy stuff for you.
Okay, that's fair.
And I promise I'll come back with it.
All right, that's fine. But how do you know what I want to play?
The first thing, I guess, is making the decision of whether you want to play a Legion or other, I guess.
Yeah.
And what would you recommend being a good way to decide that? I mean, like how would I go about? Say I want a Legion. How would I go about choosing a Legion?
Yeah. Right. If it was me personally, if I knew nothing about it, I am a big fan of information.
Yeah.
So first things I do is I join groups on Facebook. I'll ask the most stupidest question, like I'm looking to play this army. How does it play? What does it do?
Yeah.
But if you don't want to do that, I would recommend spending the £50 and buying the Red Books, the Legion book.
That's the thing. Like, if you want to choose your army, then you have to look at the Forge World website and see what you think.
That's probably
see what you
website
looks cool. Because at the end of the day, you know, I know people have different priorities, but you've got to play an army that you like the look of.
Yeah. Well, because you've got to paint it, so you've got to. It's got to appeal to you from a painting perspective.
Unique units, like if you don't like Space Marines, then don't play a Legion army because
it's all Space Marines,
mainly Space Marines. So I would say the first port of call before you buy anything is look at the website, and also, you know, as you know, join Facebook groups, and speak to people about what they like the look of and why they like the look of it, and get to know the fluff a bit. Because for me, I know people probably in the chat, and obviously James and Matt know I'm not the biggest fan of painting. So for me, it's more about like the story and the lore and the fluff and the background. Like that's what drives me when I decide what army I want to play.
Yeah.
So you. Go for it.
Go on, carry on.
I was going to say, so like you have to decide what is, because obviously you do have to paint your army, so you've got to make sure that you're going to enjoy painting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just make sure that what you think looks cool and what you think sounds cool, you research that, because you know that's going to have a big impact on how much fun you have when you play the army.
Yeah, agreed. Personally, I would recommend the Bolter and Chainsword forum. They have a fantastic section on heresy.
Yes, they do.
All aspects of it. They've got just a sort of a generic Age of Darkness forum, which is just the sort of the heresy in general, where people just ask questions and stuff about the heresy. They've also got a specific tactics sub forum as well, which has all of the different legions, most of the different rites of war, which is something we'll get onto again in a minute. And they've also got like Solar Auxilia and Mechanicum and all the different tactics things in there, just to give you some ideas of sort of how you can go about playing an army. So once you've decided on one, you can then go and have a look and see how to actually play.
That's the only thing. Don't you need to? Isn't Bolter and Chainsword like? That's a very good point. 1D4 Chan is also
yes. I was going to agree.
It can be a little bit. I mean, it's a good site. It's a good funny site for learning about an army, but it does actually genuinely have some
really good info.
Good info about the armies. But Bolter and Chainsword, definitely good shout.
Yeah, I mean the other thing I just thought of as well is, if you know nothing of the Horus Heresy, probably the best thing you could do is read the first 3 Horus Heresy books.
Yeah.
So Horus Rising, False Gods, and Galaxy in Flames.
Yeah.
Those 3 books will get you hooked instantly. I mean, even Betrayer is. I haven't listened to it yet, but everybody keeps going on about it.
Betrayer is amazing. If you want to get interested in a Word Bearers or a World Eaters army, Betrayer will get you interested in a World Eaters or a Word Bearers army.
Definitely. But this is what I do. I mean, every time I change armies, because everyone knows I'm the changer of armies.
It's at least once a week.
At least.
It's because I listen to the audiobooks all the time, and they get me in the in the narrative of that army.
Yeah.
And you listen to it and you feel like they're written so well. And I listen to the audiobooks rather than actually reading the books. And I think the audiobooks are done really, really, really well. They're read really well. The voices are phenomenal. Like, they're amazing.
Yeah.
As Sam just said, Polish calm. And it just really Galaxy in Flames. I love that book so much. But yeah, that really gives you like the story of what's going on, of how the Horus Heresy became, because it's about how Horus, I mean, I might say some spoilers now, how Horus was poisoned, and then
what?
basically Horus's fall to the dark side, as it were.
Yeah, to the point where I'm going to real big spoiler now. To the point where like
wait. Let me just cover my ears.
Horus and the Emperor. Well, it's how the Emperor ends up on the Golden Throne if you're a 40k player.
Yes.
So, and things like that. So that's a really great source. Is all the Horus Heresy books. If you're a fan of audiobooks, go on Audible. I think it's like $7.99 a month.
Audible.
I think you can download like 1 or 2 books a month or something.
Yeah, you can.
For $7.99, and all the Horus Heresy books are on there.
Okay, cool.
So that's a really good way of doing it. And then obviously the black books as well, if you really want to spend that kind of money.
Yeah. The other thing that's very important to know, basically, just going off what we've just been talking about, is in general, Horus Heresy games or 30k games and armies tend to be a lot more narrative driven than win at all cost power gamery types.
I was going to say, like, I've not been to any. I mean, I know there are people that obviously play powerful armies, but it seems, based in the community that plays Horus Heresy and 30k, it's a lot more bring an army that's fluffy and cool, and maybe a couple of units that are pretty potent. But go for a theme that is fluffy.
Rule of cool is like the #1 rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be that way, and that's generally how the three of us certainly seem to play it.
Yeah, I mean the Heresy community.
I don't. Mr. Infantry Callum, of course.
Yeah, I mean the nicest man in Heresy.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So the Heresy community is probably like it's my favorite community because everybody will help everybody out. So if somebody wants a bit, someone will usually find it and send it to you, free of charge normally, unless you've got bits you want to swap and things like that. Everybody is narrative driven, like so much that they want to build this army that they've just read about, so they go and build it. Like Callum's building like an infantry horde of Ashen Circle.
Because he's mental.
So it's just there's so the community is amazing. Like the people watching now, I mean, there's so much knowledge in the community.
Yeah.
Everybody will help you and answer your questions as well.
Yeah, indeed. And not wanting this to turn into a shameless plug, but watch battle reports.
Yeah, battle reports are amazing.
By the way, we do battle reports.
Because yes, it might not be exactly the way you would make an Iron Hands army, for example, but it gives you an idea of how they play and what their rules do, and it gives you a sort of a rundown of the rules as well. I mean, some channels are better than others for actually sort of giving and then this happened, and then this happened, and this is why kind of vibe, rather than just like a play-by-play. So I suppose for a new person, you sort of want,
I mean, the 30k channel are fantastic for doing stuff like that. Because Mr. Brains, he sits there with the two people. He goes over the slight story of the army. He goes over the makeup of the army. I mean, and they're really, really long videos, so be prepared to sit and watch over a couple of days, maybe, because they're like full battle reports. I mean, I know there's like us, there's Sam that do the quick kind of battle reports where it's just turn by turn. Yeah,
that's Emperor's Path for anybody
that's watching. For anyone that doesn't know Sam, he is in the chat. And there's I'm not sure if Callum at Tabletop Banter does stuff, does battle reports. Can't remember. I've not actually seen any, I don't think. But there's loads of channels out there. Just search 30k Horus Heresy, and you will get loads. I'll guarantee the first thing that comes up is a 30k channel.
Indeed.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah. But yeah, it's podcasts as well. A lot of the podcasters,
just people talking about stuff is a great way to.
It's a great way to spend a Wednesday evening.
Yeah,
from what people have told me.
From about 9 o'clock, I think, is the best time to listen to podcasts.
every Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
They did a study or something, and
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them's finally got their internet sorted.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I mean, there are so many types of games that you can play as well. I mean, there's like, just quickly going over, you've got like big open battles, you've got the Zone Mortalis.
Well, there's I think that's another thing that I like compared to 40k is that the missions in the book, the missions you can play, they're all very narrative focused. Yeah. You know, and they add a lot more to the game because of that. Like the game that we did the other week with my Custodes and your Death Guard or Word Bearers. It's not just like a kill point. Well, I mean, there was kill points in that, but it's not just like a simple objective game like in 40k. You know, there's a twist at the end, and there's new deployment types and everything. It allows you to do the game in a very narrative way.
Definitely.
If you want
to. I mean, the one thing I will say about the Horus Heresy is it can be as cheap as you want it to be, but it is a little bit more on the more expensive side.
Well, it is once you start getting into the toys over boys.
Yeah,
because you can, if you're going infantry, you can just. Well, this was actually going to be the next question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
absolutely. You
do
can
need
you
to
can
buy?
definitely win without doing the most damage based on
Yeah.
the way that the games work.
Indeed. I mean,
I've won games
To
with
get-
one model left on the table.
well, I mean, to go
Yeah,
back,
that sounds familiar, doesn't it, Will?
well, I was going to go back to our game actually, Matt, and say that in terms of how the board looked in our game, it looked like I was winning, but then you destroyed me on the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because at the end, it's not just it's very different, I think, to 40k. Not
Yeah,
to say that 40k
agreed.
is bad, but it's just if you want to do something that's different to 40k and maybe a bit more tactical, I guess, then 30k will allow you to do that.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to continue my I don't know what I'm doing with 30k question.
Yep.
I've decided I want a Space Marine list.
It's
A
terrible
Space
idea.
Marine army in 30k.
Terrible idea.
It is, yeah, it's pretty awful. What do I need to buy? From a model perspective, I've bought the books. I've done a bit of research.
Yeah,
I've bought
so
the books.
You bought the 3 red books that you need.
Yeah.
So you bought the Age of Darkness version 1 rulebook.
Yes.
You bought your Legionnaires Astartes rule army list.
Yes.
And you bought the other, I can never remember, the Age of Darkness army list book.
Correct.
So the first thing I would actually tell you to buy it. I would probably Battle of Calf box.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hands down, you can make 1,000 point to 1,200 point army out of a Battle of Calf box.
Yep.
And play Zone Mortalis games. Just by adding a couple of things, you can have quite a nice 2,000 point army. Very cost effective. Very good way of getting into it. And yeah, Battle of Calf or Burning the Prospero. Burning the Prospero isn't quite as good as Battle of Calf, personally.
I prefer Calth, but
yeah,
they're both worth looking into. But I would certainly say Calth first of all. It gets you everything you need to get started on a decent little army.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
And then you can, like, a lot of people don't know this about the Horus Heresy, but a lot of the plastic Games Workshop kits, like the Rhino, Razorbacks don't exist in Horus Heresy, so don't buy. Unless you want to buy a Razorback, build some Tarantula turrets out of the Razorback top part, and have a Rhino as well. Because I'd still buy the Razorback kit over the Rhino kit because the extra bits you get for £2.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, you can, because I've done it. You can very easily just sell the sprue with the las cannon on for like a tenner on eBay if you want to. So never ever buy just a Rhino kit. Would be my advice.
I'm just trying to show. If you two carry on.
1 second. I'll put you. Are you posting something up on?
Yeah, I just forgot. I got to download Craig's pictures of his stuff.
All right, cool. Let me know when you've got it, and I'll put you up on the main screen.
Cool.
Yeah. So things like rhinos, land raiders, predators, land speeders, drop pods.
Yep.
They're all the normal models that you can pick up in a Games Workshop for 20 quid, whatever it is. They're all absolutely fine to use in Horus Heresy games, so you don't have to go and buy the ridiculously expensive Forge World rhinos, although they do look very cool.
Yes, they do.
As do the predators, but that's by the by. There's no reason why you can't use 40k versions of those.
No.
So that can make things a bit easier. When it comes to marine models, though, I wouldn't use 40k marine models just because of the mark of armor that they're in.
Yeah, it depends how happy you are to go.
It depends on your group, I think, that you're playing with.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing I would say is marks of armor is probably the most debated bit, if you know what I mean. That doesn't really make sense. So most people use Mark 3 or Mark 4 armor.
Yeah.
I think Mark 5 and 6, possibly 7, maybe exist.
Well, that's
7,
the thing.
No, not 7.
2 through 6 were definitely Heresy era. 7 apparently was Heresy era, but it was only sort of Siege of Terror time right at the end. and it would have only been like probably the Blood Angels and the Imperial Fists, maybe.
Yeah,
would have had it.
Actually, yeah, didn't the Imperial Fists get the ground from Mars?
I think they did, yeah.
From what I remember.
Yeah, I believe so. But that's just, that depends on how deep you want to get into it. And as James said, it depends on your gaming group. And to be honest, if you've got a 40k Space Marine army and you want to start playing some Heresy, or you want to see what Heresy's like, get a copy of the rules.
Yep.
And use your 40k models. If you've got a little gaming group that are happy to do that, and they're also interested in potentially getting into Heresy as well, there's no problem. There's no reason why you can't do that. But once it comes to actually building a proper Heresy army, if that's what you end up wanting to do, or if you end up going to tournaments or what have you, then you will need to get your own like proper.
Yeah, exactly.
Heresy era marks of armor, but the Battle of Calth box that we've spoken about has Mark IV power armor in it.
It's essentially got everything that you.
Yeah, I mean,
the Burning of Prospero has Mark III.
You get Terminators in both boxes.
You do. You get different marks of Terminator armor. That's another cool thing about the Heresy is you get the different Terminator marks.
There's not just one Terminator armor.
Yeah, exactly.
There's loads. I've got a picture up of Mr. Craig Dolan, Kablams.
Yep.
This is a Vindicator it's a 40k Vindicator that he's converted to look more Heresy.
Yep.
As you can see here, he's got the Land Raider exhaust that he cut off his Land Raider, which I'll show in a minute, and put them there instead of the Rhino stacks that you normally see.
Yeah.
Which I think looks very, very effective. It's very, very good.
Yeah, it is definitely, and it definitely, as you said, makes it look more like the Deimos pattern, which is the 30k one, Forge World.
And then he's actually cut the front panel. I can't find a picture of the front panel. So he's cut the front panel because on the 40k Vindicator, the actual Demolish Cannon is to one side.
Yep.
Yep.
But what he's actually done is cut that panel, moved it across, and put 2 plasticard strips in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's more centered. And then you just need a mine plow, and that's that pretty much sorted.
Yeah.
Exactly. Moving over to these guys, these are phenomenal, Craig. I love these. These are so good. These are plastic 40k like Mars pattern Land Raiders.
Yeah.
Which Craig has made. He's got is it like a plotter that you got, Craig? I can't remember what you got. So he's cut like the styrene sheets, made all-round wrapped tracks. He started converting the Proteus las cannon, like hull-mounted las cannon. He's changed the exhausts. It doesn't look like a lot of. It probably was a lot of work, but it doesn't look like a lot of work to actually achieve this. With the cutting machine that he's got, I don't think that'd take. Well, I don't know. He's a god when it comes to the styrene cutting. So. But yeah, this it just gives you an idea on what you can achieve with a little bit of plasticard. And I didn't see the las cannon there. That's actually no, that's really good, Craig. This is awesome. But yeah, I mean, that just gives you a rough idea on what you can convert. I mean, that's a plastic 40k Land Raider.
Yep, that's been made to look like one of the Forge World ones.
Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. All right, I'll take you back off there. Okay, cool. So, what would you? So let's say we're going with Marines. We're going with a Legion list.
Okay.
So, what would you recommend from a building the army perspective? I know we've said about getting Battle of Calth. How would you go about going through things like Rites of War? Would you say that it's worth doing that to begin with? Would you say just buy the stuff that you want and then build from there? Would you build based on a specific story or a specific theme, or?
Or it depends if you read the books and it depends how much research you do. If you just want to get into it and play it, then just buy Calth, put together an army. Don't worry about the rights. Just put together an army.
Yeah.
But if you
I didn't know the rights existed for like my first 10 games. So
that's the thing. You don't need to use rights. You don't need to use anything like that. You can just buy a box of Calth and put together a nice simple army to kind of. If you're completely new and you want to, especially nowadays, if you are sort of, 8th edition 40k, but you're new to Heresy, so it's in many ways possibly a new rule set for you, or an old rule set that you need to remind yourself of. And in some cases, in some ways, maybe it's easy to just try doing an army, building an army, and then you can move into the rites of war and start exploring them later on.
For those people that don't know what a rite of war is, it's essentially it's an additional set of rules that you impose upon your army setup. So the composition of your army it'll have certain restrictions, or it will have certain requirements depending on what it is, but it will also give you additional rules as well. So
the thing about rites of war is, when you start building your army, I think you do need to read them, because, for instance, if you're building a Salamander's army and there's a Salamander's rite of war you want to use, they can't use deep striking units.
Yep.
So you can't use. So if you want to build a drop pod army and you want to use a Salamander rite of war, you can't use drop pods.
Yeah.
Same as Death Guard. If you want to use the reaping,
there's no deep striking in that.
You can't deep strike. You can't drop stuff in. So you kind of got to have a rough idea, sort of what you can start building your army. So I'd build your tactical squads. I'd build your Terminator squads and things like that. I wouldn't start buying any vehicles until you've kind of got a couple of games under your belt of just playing some small games.
Yep, I would agree with that.
It comes with a Contemptor Dreadnought as well.
You can build your Contemptors, your Walkers and things like that. Yeah, definitely. But when it comes to your tanks, like Rhinos, you can build, because Rhinos fit in anything. But yeah, then from then on, you've then got to kind of pick a rite of war and then build your army to that rite of war. Because otherwise you'll be buying stuff and you'll be like, yeah, I want to do this rite of war. And then you're like, oh, I can't use half of what I've bought.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You've got to be really careful. You've got to read the rites of war, definitely. And then work your way from there as well. After you've played a couple of small games, as I said, buy Battle of Calth, get your friend to buy Battle of Calth, play some Zone Mortalis games. You only need a small table, small armies, gets the rules in your head, gets you rolling some dice and stuff, and just go from there. And,
exactly.
And then
alternatively, if you're based anywhere near Reading, give us a shout.
Yeah, if you're based in Kent,
we'll happily bring you over for a. Well, yeah, exactly. We'll happily get you over here for a
training game or whatever.
A couple of practice games of 30k. Absolutely.
Yeah, or Warhammer World. Yeah.
Or Warhammer World, because we'll be
I'll tell you what, go to Warhammer World and see the Heresy armies in there.
Yeah, and then you're
the big dioramas, and then you'll pick an army.
Yeah. Or you'll pick all of them, which is sort of a bit of a problem.
I think there's only one Legion I haven't done.
Yeah.
Word bearers?
Yeah. I kind of painted all the others. At least a squad.
That's another important factor.
Painting is a major thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Indeed.
You need to pick whether you're a good guy or a bad guy. I mean, the majority of legions, especially when you come to things like Rites of War, is you can play either traitor or loyalist with pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
There's a Rite of War that allows a normally loyalist legion to be traitors and vice versa. However, you're probably better off, because certain units will be restricted to being traitor only or loyalist only, set characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're definitely better off whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, really, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's important to kind of have that at least in your mind about whether you want to be a traitor or a loyalist, especially if you have gone on to Forge World and you've seen a unit and you think, oh, that unit looks cool, because there are some units that are traitor only or loyalist only.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's important to be aware of.
But that sort of comes back down to it being more narrative driven, and you writing an army list from a more narrative perspective as well. So
it's right. Craig's just sent me some pictures of his laser destroyer he's built for that Vindicator.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
Looks awesome. So you got to be careful with like picking traitor. Always go loyalist. Like, yeah.
No.
But then if you pick like custodes, if you want a really, really cheap army, because everybody's selling their custodes because no one wants to be that guy.
I'll buy them.
because they're really cheap to buy at the minute. You don't need a lot of them. You need like 10 and 2 dreadnoughts, and you've won. You win every game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, don't do that.
I would. I fully endorse that.
So, yeah, I mean, Custodes are one of the armies that you can only be loyalist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Mechanicum, you can go either way.
Although there aren't really rules for Dark Mechanicum yet.
Yeah,
they've got a character.
Yeah.
There's going to say the character. They've shown he hasn't released yet, is he?
No, his rules are, but the models
That's
aren't.
Scoria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scoria. He's basically the Mechanicum. He's basically a Primarch for the Mechanicum.
Yeah, and he's apparently very, very, very nasty.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely. His rules are pretty tasty.
Forgot about one army that there's a whole plastic range for.
Oh yeah,
Demons.
The rules aren't out.
Yeah, the rules aren't out yet.
There's no proper rules for a demon army, which is why I deliberately didn't mention them, because there's no specific rules for them. You can summon them if you've got the 7th edition codex for demons, or alternatively, there are some very basic rules for them in the Heresy rulebook. But yeah, you can't do a proper army of them yet, unfortunately.
So give it a couple of months and there'll be rules for them.
I was going to say, I'm sure they will, and also isn't Samus Heresy specific?
Pass. I don't know for sure.
I know you can use him in a Word Bearer's army. I think I seem to remember.
Yeah, and Korvax Utterblight as well, I believe.
Yeah, but I don't know I don't know if they're just a heavy support choice.
I think they're a Lord of War.
Or a Lord of War, yeah. I'm just on the website to see, actually.
And that's the other, coming back to it as well, that's another important thing about army composition, is it's not just a case of you need 1 HQ, 2 troops, and then some extra stuff if you want it. There are a number of different ways of actually making your army using different force organization charts.
Yes.
The majority of them are sort of at opponent's consent. But if you've got a good gaming group and everybody's interested in having a laugh and doing some narrative stuff, you can play some of the different force organization charts, which is another option for when it comes to making armies as well.
Sorry, I'm still full of cold and that. That's why I keep coughing and sneezing and blowing my nose. It's really annoying.
That's right. We'll forgive you.
So at least I haven't cut out yet, which is great.
Yeah. Oh, you've just jinxed it now, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to go now.
So, so first up, I will say this. If you're new to Heresy, don't play Solar or Militia. Unless you've got about $1,000 to spend on an army.
Or you've got a massive Imperial Guard army.
Yeah, you can play Colts.
Yeah.
Because you could just about get away with doing that in a local gaming group, friendly situation.
In a casual friendly gaming group, yeah, you could get away with that.
Yeah. I attempted to do a Solar army, and I think Solar is probably the most expensive army that Forge World make. No, actually Militia is, because if you want to buy the actual Forge World Militia models, you have to buy the torso separately, the arms separately, the head separately. And it gets really expensive really quick, unless you want to use Chaos Cultists and things like that. But don't pick them as your first army. If it was me, I would pick a Legion every time as your first army, because one, models are really available. They're relatively cost effective as well.
Yep.
Forge World have released loads of different weapons options now for the plastic models. So they all come without the hands on anymore. So you can use your Battle of Calf Mark IV Marines to use heavy flamers and things like that. And I think they're just slowly re-releasing all the doors and everything as well. Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yes, they
doing
are.
Legion doors for plastic rhinos, Demos rhinos on me, and things like that. So there's so much out there to make your models more Legion specific. That it makes sense to start off with a Legion.
Yep, I agree.
And it's probably they've got the easiest rules as well.
Yeah, they're very forgiving.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some legions will have crazy special rules, and you can do X, Y, and Z if you take A, B, and C or whatever. But on the whole, the rules will be a lot easier to pick up, especially if you've played 40k previously.
Yeah.
Like in 7th edition, because you know that a Space Marine is ballistic skill 4 and strength 4 and toughness 4.
Yeah. Yeah, you have that grounding, which I think is very useful. Very useful, in fact.
Yes.
So we've mentioned Battle of Calth, Burning the Prospero boxes. They're almost must-buys if you're getting into Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
I've never actually played the game in those boxes, so I don't know what the game's like in those boxes that come with them.
I've got about six of the boards kicking around, but I've never actually played them.
Well, put it this way, I'm on my 9th Battle of Calth box and my 4th Burning the Prospero box. That's how useful those 2 boxes are.
And that's your 26th Legion as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
Personally, if you're just getting into it, I would always recommend Battle of Calth over Prospero. Because it's all Marines in the Battle of Calth box, whereas in Prospero you get Custodes and Sisters of Silence as well. So you lose out on some of the
I would agree.
some of the Marine models.
Yeah. With Calth, every single model,
they're not Legion specific, because with Prospero you've got a Space Marine, a Space Wolf character and a Thousand Suns character.
Yeah, so it's
unless those are the Legions you're going for.
Well,
if you're going for Space Wolves or Thousand Suns, then it's still worth getting Calth, just because it gives you the tactical, the tactical Marines and the Contemptor and the Terminators. It's a very good value box and a very useful box.
Well, it's a fantastic starting point for a Pride of the Legion list.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly
avoiding rights for the time being, but it's a great Pride of the Legion list because it's veteran tacticals and Terminators.
I mean, the only other army you could do is Questorus Knights, if you like your Imperial Knights. But a lot of people don't like playing against them because they are the old 7th edition Knights, where if you haven't got anti-armor, you're really going to struggle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love my Knights. I recently sold my Imperial Knights.
Yeah.
But they're coming back.
You're still crying yourself to sleep over that, aren't you?
I am. I mean, I've got like a big banner of Imperial Knights sitting next to me. They're coming back. They will be coming back. I'm hoping that the new Armiger, whatever it is, gets 30k rules as well, because that'd be amazing. But yeah, way off topic now.
Just for a change, that doesn't sound like us at all.
If you really want to walk into a Games Workshop store, or your local Games Workshop store, and you want to buy some models, I would buy a Calth box and maybe like 1 or 2 Rhinos or 1 or 2 Predators, things like that you can use in Heresy. With the Land Raiders, don't buy the Crusader.
No, you can't use a Crusader or a Redeemer.
No, you can only use the one with las cannons. So the easiest way
Phobos.
the Phobos. No, Proteus. No, it's Phobos. It's Phobos. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I've got one sitting over there. All I've done with mine is I bought the Forge-rolled extra armor kit for a Land Raider just to make it look different, which doesn't actually fit. It's a kit that doesn't fit very well, so I don't recommend it. There's so much filling to do on it. But yeah, if you really want a Land Raider, a plastic Land Raider, buy them on with las cannons. The other 2 you cannot use in Heresy. They don't exist in Heresy. Same as like Predators. You can't put a twin link las cannon on your Predator in Heresy.
No, you can't. I mean, there are. That's another thing to be aware of. There is a lot of new things that you can get, which invariably you need to buy from Forge World, which is expensive. So
like Predators with
like the
plasma cannons,
and such
beams and stuff on,
which do look cool. But be aware that you will probably, if you want to get some of the cooler looking toys like that, you would probably need to go to Forge World rather than Games Workshop. So it will be even more expensive.
Yeah. Just quickly, we've got loads of people asking different stuff in the chat. John Booth, are you guys going to any 30k events this year? Yes, myself and Matt are going to Greetings. What is it? Ghoul Stars this time.
The Ghoul Stars Aggression. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a 30k kind of narrative based. It's not very narrative, like based sort of event. I went to, what was it called last year?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I went to one of their events last year, and it was amazing. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. There is a video on my old channel of all the armies that were there. That's the other thing we can do in a minute is I'll post that. I'll screen share again and show you roughly what an army size looks like as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to that. I'm going to Salute in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Heresy events. I really want to go to more, but I'm saving to buy a house this year, and unfortunately, there's so many good events. I mean, Callum has got some events going from Tabletop Banter, and also he's on Unremembered Heresy. Sam has got Path to Confrontation again. I think he's doing a 2-day event this year.
That was great last year.
Yeah, me and Matt both went to that last year.
Couldn't get to it this year, unfortunately.
No, tickets are sold out, and again, I've got so much going on. I can't afford to do them all. I'm trying. I mean, I'll say I'm going, but it might change. I'm going to a Warhammer World event. It's not an actual official event, but I'm meeting up with loads of different podcasters. Like Mr. Brain, David Brain's going to be there. The Legion of Lies guys are going to be there. Callum's going, and loads of other like really well-known heresy players on Instagram and things like that are all going on the. Can't remember the date that it is. And then also, I'm going in June. I'm going to another event in Essex, which is what the Legion of Lies are running. It's only a 1-day event, and it's actually at Wayland Games.
Oh, cool.
So nice.
That reminds me, Callum, I did get your message. Thank you very much for that, and I shall most certainly take you up on that offer. Yes, definitely.
So there's loads of events. I mean, there's events going on all over the world. I know Tarsis that the Geno 5.2 lads run is extremely popular. I think they sold out in like 5 minutes or 8 minutes.
Oh, really?
Something ridiculous. They basically the machine oversold their tickets because it couldn't cope. So it went from like a 40-man event to a 60-man event.
Yeah. And also, what we would like to do later on in the year is something similar to what we organised last year, where we head up to Warhammer World for a weekend, and anybody who wants to is able to can then come up and join us, and we'll play some games, we'll have some beers, we'll just have a bit of a laugh. We're not sure when that's going to be yet. But as soon as we do, we'll obviously
later on in the year, because then
we'll post
everyone's got their new armies all finished and that ready for towards the end of the year.
So we'll definitely share some stuff for that.
I mean, last year we did it. It was September, wasn't it? Did it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So probably around that sort of time of year again, and it's really cool because we all stay in a hotel, so we can have drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
play some games, food. Bugman, if you haven't been to Warhammer World, go to Warhammer World. The food. Oh, sorry.
The food's amazing. The food is nearly one of the best parts.
Yeah. I've just spotted a question from Mythos, I assume is Mythos. Hello. Is it difficult to bounce between 40k and Heresy rules? My answer is yes.
Yep.
Because
I would agree.
30k uses what are essentially the old 7th edition rules. So yeah, they're completely different to the current 40k ones. If you still remember all of the 7th edition 40k rules, then you will probably be fine.
Yep.
It's just some of the sort of the specific Legion stuff can be a little bit different from the general 7th edition, but overarching, overall, it's basically 7th edition 40k without all of the alien.
I mean, if you've still got your 7th edition rulebook, you can still play Heresy using that rulebook. There's only a couple of changes in the rules.
I was going to say there's nothing huge.
I mean, I think there's even an FAQ you can download that has all the changes in somewhere.
I
think I've heard that.
I seem to remember something like that, but I never actually found it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, John. Yeah, you're playing Chris Gibson, aren't you?
Oh, on the Titan board.
On the Titan board. Yeah, the Titan board is there.
I really want to play with that. I really want to play.
Well, hopefully, like that's one of the tables that they've booked for the event at Warhammer World in April, at the end of April. So,
yeah,
Mr. Tabletop Banter, Callum, you heard it here. Drop 8th and play the real game. So,
I have to say, I still do prefer a game of Heresy over a game of 40k. I like 40k. Don't get me wrong. I've played a lot of it, and that is unfortunately for me, the majority of what we do on the channel is 40k. But I prefer 30k definitely.
I do as well, because I've got the rules are in my head. This is the struggle I'm having with switching over to 40k at the minute.
Yeah.
See, I think I prefer playing 40k.
Okay.
At the moment, but
yeah, for the hate.
but
who invited him?
But
yeah,
I'm so glad that they changed 40k to the rules that they have now, because it used to be the case that basically 30k was 40k just with 30k models.
Yeah,
you know, like that. Now it feels like you have two different games to play. They're literally two completely different games.
Yeah.
So they've basically just doubled the amount of option you have if you want to play a game with your little models. So, you know, they've just given you more option, which I love.
Well, what 30k has become? It's become a specialist game.
Yeah, it has, but one that they actually support, and you know, that has a big enough following to keep it alive, which I think is always the worry when a game goes to a specialist game. I think there's always the reaction in the back of your mind that like, oh, it's going to get abandoned, and slowly, like, you know, fantasy when Age of Sigmar came out.
Yeah,
but I don't think that.
Oh, I love Age of Sigmar. Sorry,
I
really do.
I don't think 30k is ever going to have that problem.
No, agreed. I think the 30k fan base is considerably more enthusiastic than the fantasy one used to be.
Yes,
in my opinion.
The only other thing I will say about the Horus Heresy is
hopefully not the only other thing.
I was going to say
going 55 minutes.
No.
You can say more, James. You can.
No, you just said Age of Sigmar, and I just won a silver award at my local painting store.
Oh,
nice!
Congratulations! I did see that.
I just won the Malign Portent silver. I got silver, and I'm well chuffed. So it's really good. It's just throwing me off now. The one thing I will say about Heresy is prepared to play some beautiful armies.
Oh yeah. I get very disheartened.
The one thing I will say about Heresy is people get their shit painted. They really like I've played so many 40k players where year upon year upon year the army is still grey.
Yep.
Nothing has changed.
Even I have got a very nearly fully painted Heresy army.
Yeah, I know, that's unbelievable. That is,
which is unbelievable.
People will let you play unpainted stuff, but as long as it's painted next time.
Yeah.
Like, people always progress in their armies. So if you're a new player, I can totally understand if you've just built your army, you want to test it out. Play it. But you'll find that most people that play Heresy have got fully painted armies. They've been working on them for years, but then if you
unfortunately, they almost always look amazing.
Yes.
Which is really annoying.
Because what you'll find is Heresy players aren't just players; they're hobbyists.
Yes,
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
They're not just about playing the game; they are also about the models, about building, about painting, the narrative, the story. They're basically like,
which again is why I think there's less win at all costs. People that just come in and flick from army to army, whichever is the most powerful. People choose an army because they love how it looks and how it plays and how the lore is, and they stick with it, even if it's not the most. Like what's a weak army in Horus Heresy at the moment? Would you say like one of the weaker legions?
None of them are weak, to be honest. They've all got their like caveats, sort of thing.
Yeah, but
they're all good at something. Ashen Egg. I know what Callum will say. Ashen Circle.
Yeah, Ashen Circle. Yeah. But like even though they're not super powerful and gonna get you wins after wins after wins necessarily. They look cool, and that's why you play them. That's why you have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And you get to play cool units, like rather than just having one guy that's in your tactical squad that has a plasma gun, you have 10 guys that have a plasma squad, that have a plasma gun.
10 las cannons and
you get to go really all out with Heresy, which is awesome.
And most important for me is all the bleeding dreadnoughts.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
Matt does like it.
You love me a dreadnought.
I do love my walkers as well. I really do. They're so they're so good. They look good. Like, this is why I like the new knights. I hope they get Heresy rules, because I think they'd be awesome in Heresy.
Yeah.
But Imperial Knights, Walkers, Leviathans. Get yourself a Leviathan if you're playing Heresy, and a drop pod, a Dreadnought drop pod, and a Leviathan.
That's all you need for Heresy.
That all depends on which legion you're playing.
Yeah. So
true.
or rather, which Rite of War you're playing.
Yeah, definitely. But
because that's all that's missing from my 3,000 Ghoul Stars list is 2 Dreadnought drop pods, and I'm not allowed to take them, which makes me sad.
That is a shame. A shame.
Is there any guys in the chat currently that have got some questions they want to ask?
Did we miss any questions?
There's so many people chatting in there at the minute. It's
brilliant, isn't it?
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
We should probably say thank you very much for everyone.
Everyone that's joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
It's been above 10 for the entire stream.
Well, we had 17 at one point. That is freaking amazing. I nearly swore. I've got to cut down my swearing. I swore at work and I got a disciplinary.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's not ideal.
So,
what else do we have? I'm going to look at the list of stuff you posted earlier as well. What range of models we've done that? We've basically done all those questions that you posted earlier.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing is, where can you find more information and great content on Horus Heresy? So
well, that's just going back to sort of the forums questions and
forums,
or other forum thing that we mentioned earlier.
YouTube podcasts.
Yeah,
I love my podcasts mainly because they keep me sane in the work van. I mean, Radio Free Isfan are freaking amazing. They put a podcast out every week.
Unremembered Heresy, Callum and Sam.
Yeah.
And Jody.
Callum and Sam and
Sorry,
Jody.
can't forget Jody, newest member of the team.
Yeah. Geno52, Tom and Stu. That's the other thing as well. There's so many commission painters out there that will do Heresy stuff and love painting Heresy stuff. Like Miniature Realm Studio, that's Stu from Geno52. He does some awesome stuff. I mean, that guy just churns out stuff. I mean, I know I'm a fast painter, but he churns out as quick as I can, but like 10 times better than what I can. Yeah.
Hey, John, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yeah, Mr. Gibson, I still need to give Mr. Gibson a game because, he called me out, but it didn't happen. I'm going to kick his Alpha Legion in the balls. There you go. Called you out on YouTube. There you go.
Yeah, it's getting serious now.
There's so many people I want to play. It's unreal. I want to play so many people at the minute. But yeah, Instagram as well for Heresy stuff.
Yeah, if you want ideas of like
how to paint stuff,
and to see like whether something's going to look cool with when you've got it done, then Instagram is a great way to get inspiration or have your heart broken.
Well, yeah, but that's what I was gonna. That's the other thing I was gonna say. Don't get disheartened by what you see on places like Instagram, because it's so easy to look at all of these absolutely gorgeous armies and go, "Well, I'm never going to be able to do it like that because I can't paint that well."
No, you will.
Practice,
I guarantee.
Practice.
This is my thing for next year. I'm going to try and get myself on as many painting courses as I can, because there are so many out there at the minute that offer you to help you how to paint stuff and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this isn't heresy specific, but it's still very important information, or potentially useful information anyway.
It is awesome. I've got loads of people messaging me.
Well, I'll tell you what. Do you want to look? Do you want to show us some examples of?
Some
armies,
do that.
James.
We'll do that.
Have you got them all saved? Can I pop you up as the main screen?
If you pop me up as the main screen, I will.
Okay. So James put out a little message on our Facebook group earlier, asking for some examples of people's 30k armies, just to give everybody an idea of sort of what you're likely to see.
This is Dan's Zone Mortalis army. This is a Death Guard army. I've played against this army so many times in Zone Mortalis. These two dreadnoughts here, I hate. I hate with a passion.
Are they the Flamestorm cannon?
They are, with chem rounds as well.
Yeah.
Sound nice to me.
We played a enemy unknown game again. I played an enemy unknown game against this list using my Iron Warriors. And just wipe the floor with me. But yeah, this is typical. I think this is about 1,500 points for Zone Mortalis. So there's still quite a lot, considering that's all Terminators and two dread. So you got some Death Guard, Death Shroud here. These are Grave Wardens here.
Yep, more Death Shroud.
That is Typhus. Is it Typhus?
That looks like Typhon in the middle.
Typhon in the middle there, and then more Death Shroud. So that's a quite a cool army. This is Philip's army. He is Ayet Hobby on Instagram. This is his Mechanicum.
That's a lovely army.
Is a lovely army. I think this is what he took to Throne of Skulls last year.
Oh, okay.
That's about 3,000 points, I think.
Yeah.
This is a lovely army. Beautiful. It really is.
Yeah. So that's
this is Mechanicum. I think it's Auto Reductor.
Okay. Yeah. So that's just one of the different. So that's the equivalent of like a different legion, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it comes to the Mechanicum.
Yeah. This is Jodie's Zone Mortalis Raven Guard army. Beautiful army. This army has also smashed me so many times. Basically, I don't have much luck in Heresy. I think I've played 18 games now and I've won 4.
Nice.
So
you've won against me.
I won against Will. That game is yet to go up still.
I know, that needs to go up. Hilarious.
This is Jodie's, I think it's 1,500 point Zone Mortalis army. This is
awesome.
Dan's Death Guard again. This is his 3k list that I played against a couple of weeks ago.
Did it smash you?
It absolutely smashed me.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, it seems like it.
So I played my my Greetings 3k list against this.
And
the artillery in this army here it wiped me off the table before I could get anywhere near him.
Yeah.
So these are like Medusas. It's artillery. This is a Lord of War. This is the Typhon.
It's basically just a gigantic Vindicator.
Yeah. These are the little nasty things here. These are quad thud guns, should I say? And this is your Leviathan Dreadnought. This is amazing. This is Phil's Zone Mortalis army for his Mechanicum. Great little army. They are Myrmidon Destructors.
Yep. And then we've got Thalax.
I'm not sure who this is. This might be the character. What's his face?
That's definitely an Archmagos on a
Thalax
on a floaty thing.
Yeah.
Floaty thing is, I believe, the technical term.
Floaty thing. Yeah. I think you're probably right.
This is Sam from Emperor's Path. This is his new Mechanicum army.
Yeah.
Really loving the green. I mean, green's my favorite color. If you look on my Instagram, near enough everything's painted green. So, this is it. This is the start of his new army. You've got Myrmidon Destructors at the back with Volkites. These are Tech Thralls, I think they're called.
Yep.
And then we've got
Secularis Covenant, I think, is the official.
Yeah, and then we've got some Thalax, and this is a Magos.
Yep.
I think. Can't remember. And then here we go with Callum's. So
that's Callum's 1,000-point list.
No.
No, I know.
This is his, I think, 2.5k.
Yeah.
May even be 3k of basically infantry horde word bearers.
Yeah.
He's been building this up over the last year, I think.
I would happily. I'd happily play my Dark Angels against that.
I mean, everyone has like named him the nicest guy in Heresy.
Yeah.
He brings this list everywhere. Everybody loves playing against it. It's so fun to play against. This is his Zone Mortalis version of the army. Again, it's basically just doubles up what he's got.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then this is Sam's 3K list that he actually took to SNN No Retreat last year at Gibraltar.
I've played against that list. It is pretty brutal.
Yeah, so basically it's a lot of, oh god, I can't remember the names of the Space Wolf stuff.
Grey Slayers.
You've got Grey Slayers. You've got some, what they're called?
Varagir
Terminators, more Grey Slayers, Assault Squads, Sicarian Arcus. You'll get to know what these. Yeah, you'll get to know what these are. These are the different drop pods that you can get. You've got the big Charybdis Assault Claw in the middle. These are Dread Claws. You've got a. This is what a normal Proteus looks like. That's what Craig's making out the plastic card at the minute.
It's just with one of the different Land Raider variants.
Primarch in the middle there with Lehman Russ.
Yeah.
I've played against this army a few times now, and Sam's beat me every time.
Honestly, that's a very important thing you just mentioned there. Actually, the most important thing about 30k, if you're playing a Legion list, is you get to run a Primarch.
Yes.
And you don't have to be Ultramarines to do it, like in 40k.
No.
You get to run a Primarch, and they are awesome.
Yeah, they're good force multipliers.
I don't know about that.
It's a Primarch, Will. They're cool.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
That's pretty much it. So that's all what everyone said. So thank you, everyone that sent your pictures in. I just wanted to show people what an army, a roughly makeup of an army looks like.
Yeah.
Sadly, I didn't even put one of mine in there. So.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't get any photos of mine in the end.
So,
but you can see them on the channel.
Yeah, you can indeed. Mine's been on my. Iron Hands should be on there soon at some point. I've got a super, extremely super secret project going on. Yeah, you might want to turn my screen sharing off. Oh no, it's me that needs to turn screen sharing off.
I did turn it off.
There we go. It's me.
Yeah.
So I've got a super secret project going on. Only a handful of people know what's going on.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I know.
Matt and Will know.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a real slow burner, but it's going to be cool.
That's very cool. It's going to be very good. Yeah. Basically, I don't really know.
Is there any more questions in the chat? I mean, we've got loads of people in here.
And we've still got loads of time as well.
It's another army.
Yeah.
But I'm dipping my toes back into one of my favourite games. I know this is a mainly Heresy thing this time, but I'm dipping my toe back into tanks as well.
Nice.
So it's a great little game, really simple. It's a nice like palate cleanser from playing big, complicated games. And then I'm working on my Age of Sigmar stuff as well. So yeah. I love it.
Oh, that's quite an important thing to know, actually. Rites of War can be complete game changers.
Yes,
they can.
Because standard, you get some tactical Marines, you get some Terminators, whatever. But Will has a Dark Angels list
pretty good list
that essentially doesn't have any troops in.
Well, it doesn't have any infantry.
It doesn't have to have. It has to have one infantry model in it, and the rest of it can be Predators and Vindicators and Land Raiders if he wants it to.
Yeah. So it's the Armored Breakthrough.
Yeah.
Essentially, you choose this Rite of War, and they give you sort of.
Well, in fact, it doesn't even need one infantry model.
I was going to say because
your warlord can be a
tank.
Yeah, exactly.
So essentially, you. Both of them have downsides. The Armored Breakthrough one doesn't, except that if you take infantry, they have to start embarked on a transport.
Yeah,
but that's not exactly a negative anyway, because
you sort of want them to be in.
You sort of want them to be anyway.
Rhino or something.
So what you can essentially do is swap out your mandatory tactical squads that you need to take, and instead just bring predators.
Predator. Yeah, exactly.
The predators become troops choices. So
yeah,
my list, I think my 1850 list was 5 predators, 3 vindicators, whirlwind Scorpius, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I think
that was probably about it.
That was probably about it. But
you're that guy.
Because it was fun, and then I want to get a super heavy to be a Lord of War choice in it, and just do like
a Beyblade here if you want.
I know you.
The other important thing, rules-wise. Good evening, Mark. How you doing? The other thing, very important rules-wise, and hello, Arthur. Well, nice of you to join us.
Arthur, hello.
Is that when it comes to objectives, only troop choices or certain other units that have a special rule can score.
Yeah.
So pretty much everything else can deny an objective being scored, but only certain models can actually score. So rather than 8th edition where you could have a Land Raider parked on an objective and get a point for it, in 30k you can't. It would have to be either like a tactical squad or something with the implacable advance rule.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, like your tactical support squads can score and things like that.
Yeah, because they're a troop choice. So essentially, Will has scoring predators in his list because they are a troop choice.
Yeah, which makes them pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are really, really good. I also like what do you call it? Oh, Matt, what's your favourite? Fury of the Ancients.
Oh, Fury of the Ancients. Yeah, I'm slowly building up a Fury of the Ancients list.
One day I will have a Fury of the Ancients army.
Yeah, and that is where you take dreadnoughts as troops.
Yes,
which is just wicked.
I would like a Salamander's army of dreadnoughts.
Why Salamanders?
Because then you can take Cassian Dracos as your HQ.
Yeah.
Does he have Master of the Legion?
Oh, don't say that.
because you need to take 2 additional. There's 2 additional compulsory choices. You have to take a Primus Medicae and a Forge Lord.
I'm going to look now.
So if he doesn't have Master of the Legion, you can't take him as an HQ choice in a Fury of the Ancients list. I'm afraid to say.
Let me find it.
Sorry, I've just peed all
Just
over
ruined
your
my
parade,
dream.
haven't I?
Yep, you just ruined.
Yeah.
How could you? How could you?
Yeah, I do feel a bit bad for it, but I prefer to get the rules right than him turn up to a tournament with a Fury of the Ancient Salamanders list and not be allowed to play.
What does he have to have?
That's
Master
fair.
of the Legion.
Will it be a special rule?
Yes.
God damn it!
Sorry.
It's annoying because it's got the Fallen Master, the Dragon, the Revenant, First Commander. No, he can't.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Oh, hang on. If Cassian Dracos is the only HQ choice present in your army, he becomes your army's warlord. Even though he does not have a leadership value, he does not roll on the warlord traits table, but instead receives the trait listed previously.
Yeah, but he still can't choose a right of war because he's not Master of the Legion.
He can't. Oh, for God's sake!
And he wouldn't be. And he wouldn't be your only HQ choice in that instance anyway, because you have to take a Forge Lord and a Primus Medicae, or a Praetor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn it!
Alternatively, you could take Vulcan and Cassian Dracos and a Primus Medicae and a Forge Lord, because Vulcan can take the right of war.
Yep.
Because he's got Master of the Legion.
Yeah.
So you could do it that way around.
Yep.
No. I've got ideas in my head.
Sorry. But they're your favourite colour, James.
They are.
This is true.
This is what everyone says. Like, I love playing the good guys. My favourite colour's green, so why haven't I done a Salamander's army?
Exactly.
I don't know.
They have a point.
Yeah. I know. But not another army. I'm just going to mute my mic a second.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So, oh,
Have we got any more questions or anything?
I don't think there's any more.
Hope to get you game. John, yep, absolutely. Whereabouts are you based, mate? Because we can either meet up somewhere in the middle, or you can come here, or whatever. That would be absolutely fine. That would be all good. You could take vets, but only if you model them differently. True. Just bought 5 cans of Army Painter Alien Purple.
Ooh, Emperor's Children.
Yeah, Emperor's Children, absolutely.
Alpha Legion. That's what you do.
Well, yeah, they can be any colour you like, really, can't they?
Yep.
There's no
Purple
reason
Salamanders.
Purple Salamanders.
Stop putting ideas in James's head.
James, Purple Salamanders.
Don't, right? I was thinking about the termites the other day, the new termite model.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to do an Ultramarines army full of suzerain.
All in termites.
I love the
all in termites.
I love the suzerain models.
I was listening to Tom on the Geno 5.2. He's Ultramarines player, and he was going on about it, and I was like, that sounds pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That termite thing, when it comes out, I'm probably going to have to get quite a few for my Iron Hands, because I think it'd be really cool.
I would agree, to be honest.
So the term, and then what's it? There's the massive one coming out, isn't there, for Mechanicum?
Oh, is
like
there?
A Lord of War termite.
Oh, damn, that'd be awesome.
Oh, you know what? You can also take in Heresy. I don't know what armies can take it, but one of the best models, model-wise and rules-wise in the game, the Ordinatus.
Yes, that's Mechanicum only.
That's such a cool model, and it's so good. The
rules are crazy for that.
The rules are ridiculous for that.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Oh, a 7-inch beam which goes across the entire table and everything just dies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty mental.
Yeah, there's so much out there. Like
Warwick. My sense of my geography is atrocious.
Yeah, but if any of you guys want to give us a game of Heresy,
hour and a half away. Okay, that's not too bad.
Just send us a message, and we'll play some games. Whether we come to you, you come to us. We meet at Warhammer World. We meet at a shop somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
I mean, I've got a local store near me where we can play Wargamers Den. There's the one in Essex, Wayland Games, which isn't far from me. Pardon me. Warhammer World's about 3-hour drive for me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it's probably about the same for us, but it's not too bad to get to. I'm happy to go up there.
I was going to say, as long as we have time in advance to plan, then
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and always love a trip to Warhammer World anyway.
I was going to say, as long as we can all, whoever, a few of us can make it up, then we'll just make a weekend of it or whatever. And
yeah, absolutely,
definitely due to do that soon. Definitely,
yes, indeed.
I need to spend some money.
I need to not spend some money.
Yeah, that's always the problem I have. I always come back a couple of £100 lighter because I've bought stuff that I don't need because I've seen it and gone, oh, I might have to buy one.
I come back a couple of £100 lighter because I've eaten so much of bug.
I believe the relatively semi-famous quote from us is a surprise expression of, oh, you have a Fire Raptor.
Yes.
Which I almost don't remember buying.
No, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
It's like every day you guys wake up to the group chat and there's something new that I've got.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So, yeah, if anyone wants to buy a Typhon and some
James is now using the podcast as a personal sales.
But there is so much. I mean, I need to finish my Mastodon as well and get that ready.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, I suppose next week we're going to probably go back to the Legions again.
I would think so. Yep. So it'll be Iron Warriors next week.
Iron Warriors. I freaking love Iron Warriors. One of my favorite armies. Definitely, probably my second favorite army.
Yeah, after Salamanders.
No.
No?
No, Iron Hands have always been my first love.
Yeah.
Even in 40k, I had an Iron Hands army at some point. I think 40k. I was running Iron Hands with I was running 6 Centurions, like assault Centurions in a Lamb Raiders.
Nice.
And they would just literally run up the board and just jump out and shoot everything. Everything that could take grav took grav as well.
Fair.
So
yeah, John,
Yeah, so-
that makes sense to me.
any of you guys that are watching now currently got any questions that you want us to answer? Can be anything. Ask us anything. Ask us. We'll have like 20 minutes of ask anything.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That seems
Like,
reasonable.
yeah,
Doesn't have to be heresy related.
Ask us anything.
Preferably somehow gaming related.
Yeah, I mean,
Realistically, I'm not too fussed. I'll pretty much answer whatever people ask. Don't bother me.
Yeah. I mean,
But just given that it is a gaming stream on a gaming channel, you'd hope it would be mostly gaming related.
Well,
let's,
I mean,
let's
you
play
know.
Guess What's on My Shelf? These 2 shelves.
Let's play. Oh, the only question you can't ask is James and what his super secret new
Yeah,
project.
that's the only question I will not answer.
The only thing that we can't answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only question I can't answer.
Heresy purchase have you made?
That pissed off the other half the most. Well, to be honest, she was with me when I bought the Mastodon, so that was for my birthday last year.
Quite hefty.
So she doesn't really know what I've bought. So I'll probably say all of it.
Yeah, if only she knew. Well, I suppose I'm fortunate in that respect that I don't currently have one, so it doesn't matter what I buy. I can't piss anybody off.
Yeah,
That does help. That
Yeah.
does help.
That's pretty much the only time it does help.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
She moans at me all the time when I buy stuff, but she, Shaz is pretty good. I mean, as she said, it's my money that I earn. I can spend it on what I like as long as there's money for bills.
Yeah.
Would you rather
That
have
seems reasonable
nipples?
to me.
Would you rather have nipples for a nose or noses for nipples?
Nipple
And
for a
if you-
nose.
And if you could change the rule for an OP or underpowered model, what would it be? I like the way that you put in that first question, but then validated the question by putting in a gaming-related one as well. That was well played.
Yeah, well played. Well played.
Craig's is cool as well. I like to spend an hour a night hobbying. How long do you guys spend in the shower in the morning? Oh, God.
Okay, so who wants to answer the nipple nose question?
I'd rather have. I don't know. Actually, I mean, I feel like having noses for nipples would just be a bit awkward wearing like a shirt.
Yeah, especially when you have a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like you'll be smelling your armpits all the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think I don't know though. Nipple for a nose would just look weird. Like my glasses would.
I know.
fall
When
down.
That's
you
the
reach,
problem, isn't it? Yeah.
This is awkward.
when you reach over stuff, like your nipples always rub on like really annoying things. Like, so, yeah, no, I'd rather have a nipple as a nose.
No, I do agree with Will though. That would cause problems when it comes to having glasses.
Yeah, that would be my only bugbear. Would
Yeah.
be I'd have to.
That is actually the only drawback to having a nipple as a nose.
I'd have
Is
to.
glasses would fall off.
So, how long do you spend in the shower in the morning? Usually about 2 minutes because I'm usually always up late for work.
Yeah, exactly. Like 30 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, I literally I have to be at work at 9, or I start work at 9. So I mean, usually all my work is within like 20 minutes of my house. So because I work for a housing company, so yeah, it's usually be at the first house for 9 o'clock. So I get up at 20 to 9, jump in the shower, be ready to walk out the door at 8:45.
Yeah. I would say 5 or 10 minutes. No more.
The second question was, if you could change a rule for an OP or underpowered model, what would it be? It's quite a good one, actually, I think.
That's a great question.
What is the one model that everybody hates at the minute?
Destroyers.
Yep, they could do with they could legitimately do with a buff.
I did hear that apparently they're reworking destroyers in the new book.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
Whether it's giving them like extra war gear, like access to like special ammunition and things like that.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, to be honest. Because destroyers are really, really good. They're really good in the fluff as well. But their rules and their points costs are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, they're so expensive what they don't have, if you get what I mean. So, and then OP, I think probably everything custodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not broken. I mean, as long as people self-regulate, which you'll find happens a lot in Heresy. I did witness a turn 1 tabling from a custodes player.
I would get rid of Paragon Spears.
Yeah, they're pretty brutal.
And maybe just give them a slight points increase as well. Or limit shield captains to 1.
I think shield captains are quite brutal. But yeah, I think maybe just a slight points increase would help the situation. Because you don't want, that's the thing that you don't want when you nerf stuff, is you don't want it to lose its cool factor in being like a really elite super, because custodians are meant to be awesome.
Yeah.
But I would rather make them make them expensive and justify that points, and make it so that you have to be tactical with them when you're playing them because you have so few, rather than just decrease the points and make them wimpy. I think that would be how I would do it. I would keep them suitably strong and just buff the points up. I mean, so that you just had less in your army.
Yeah, I mean, Callum's just hit the nail on the head there. It's like their shields are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like if they could not necessarily get rid of the shields, but 30 points a shield, because you're re-rolling your invulse moves in combat. That's huge.
Yeah, on a toughness 5 2-wound model.
Yeah. Like if you make them 30, 40 points a model, they make them ridiculously expensive so that you'll only have a couple.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because you think to get you can't even get a re-roll on your bloody invul save on your Praetor or anything like that, can you? So
no.
Yeah.
No. I don't. I mean, I would put a Custodians personally anyway, and I know that in books it does sometimes chop and change, but I would put a Custodians at least sort of the points of 3-4 Space Marines. Like I think a 50 point base cost for a Custody, and then you start adding on, if you're giving them shields and whatnot.
That's probably reasonable. I mean, I've only played against them a couple of times, and they were considerably better the second time. I don't know, that sort of feels like it's maybe a bit too expensive, but equally they are toughness 5, 2 wounds, ballistic skill, weapon skill 5, etc.
I can't remember what are they like 30 points a model now?
I'm not sure, to be honest, mate. I've not looked. I think
it's 100
rules really.
What's that? Not a bog standard custodes?
Yeah, because I can't remember, because they come in squads of 3, don't they? And
yeah, squads of 3 for 100 and let me find it. Sisters of Silence. Custodian Grey Count. Next page. Hang on. Oh God, how many troop choices do they have? 165 points for 3 dudes, and then it's 55 points to add.
So they are already around that price point anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know how much is this shield.
That's another interesting thing about 30k is you'll generally find that minimum size units are quite expensive, but when it comes to a 20-man tactical squad, for example, does not cost the equivalent of 2 10-man tactical squads.
Yeah.
So you get a bit of a discount for having a bigger squad.
Yeah. So your first 10 you pay a premium for.
Yeah.
But then your next 5 to 10 you
are cheaper.
They're a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean your average 20-man squad is probably the cost of a fully loaded like 40k squad.
Yep.
Like in 7th edition, because what's it? A fully loaded 10-man squad in 7th edition was like just over 200 points, I think.
Yeah, I think it's about the same for a 20-man squad of.
Yeah, just a basic 20 with no upgrades on the sergeants as well. And that's the other thing. You can give your sergeants bloody artificer armor. Who would not do that?
Yeah, I know. That's the best. That's brilliant. That is.
That has saved my ass so many times. So, I don't know. So what we got going on in the chat? So I'd sort out Destroyers and Ashen Circle from Callum. He also says get rid of the Custode Shields.
I don't know. I don't think getting rid of them, but I think certainly making them more expensive is is pricey. It is a good idea.
Yeah, some kind of change anyway.
A Custodes, as far as I've read, is effectively a captain in power level. Well, there is, I don't know. The thing is, in the fluff, if we're talking about fluff, they seem to chop and change because sometimes they get killed by an unarmored world eater.
Yeah, but he was a bit badass.
He was a bit of a badass. I think in general, I would say. I mean, there's the scene in what's the Word Bearer book, where the Custody takes on like a chaplain.
First Heretic.
First Heretic, where one Custody takes on like a captain, a chaplain, and like two veterans.
Such a cool scene that
before they can even blink. Awesome. And then he finally gets chopped down by, is it Lorgar or I can't? It's someone.
Yeah, I can't remember, but that's a brilliant.
But I think somewhere in between that, I think in fluff, a regular Custody should feasibly be able to beat like a Space Marine captain. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be like shocked if a very well trained, older Space Marine captain beat a Custody.
Yeah,
I think they're about captain level in the fluff. Yeah. They should be. So
yeah, well, I mean, in that same book, you had Argyle Tal, the Word Bearer's captain, dueling against the Custodies in the training.
Exactly. And while he loses at first, he does slowly start to kind of equal out and balance. So I'd say the average Custody is probably on a par with an average captain, with the better Custodies and the better captains, like the named captains, obviously being able to take them out.
Yeah, I'd say probably about right.
Oh, I haven't got my bloody Spartan. All right. Yeah, just quickly answering Dixie, White Scars are going to be in the next book. So
yes, Malevolence.
Yeah, so we're looking within the next couple of months. I think that's probably going to drop.
Yep.
That'd be, it should be next couple of months. So White Scars will be there. Big Mech, not including the central part of the tank, the top troop compartment, is a Spartan longer than a Lamb Raider. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, yeah.
It's about 1.5 inches longer, I think. It's I've got my Lamb Raider here, but my Spartan, I'll keep my armies in my house. So
I can do a comparison.
You got a Spartan and a Lamb Raider?
I do.
Everyone watch Matt.
Yeah.
Craig, the Spartan has like a stub nose on it that sticks out. The Spartan's slightly wider and longer.
Spartan? Land Raider.
Yeah, it's about 1 inch.
Yeah, it's definitely
width-wise. Yeah, Spartan's ever so slightly wider. I don't know if you can see just the edge of it on this side.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly wider, but it's definitely
longer.
Definitely longer. Don't know the other way around. So you can see that there.
Yeah. So there you go. That proves that. You know what? Breaking records here on how many people we had here tonight.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Right. No, my temperature in here tonight is 24 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I've never had it that warm in here. My heater is working fantastic.
Maybe it runs on the Wi-Fi.
Maybe it does.
Yeah.
I haven't cut out once yet. It's amazing. I love it.
You're actually doing better than I am with the internet at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that picture you sent.
It was so good.
Amazing. Talk and then Sky reply.
Yeah, so my internet, I'm with TalkTalk at the moment. I just changed from BT, and TalkTalk have been messing me around it's fine at the moment, but if I try and upload anything, it just cuts out. So I've been speaking to TalkTalk, and I put on Twitter, that it was still not working, and I wasn't happy, and that if it didn't get fixed, I was going to go back to BT. And then Sky replied and said, "You do have other options, winky face." I was like, yeah, fair play. So yeah, might jump over to Sky
just for that comment.
Yeah,
you have to see if they give you any kind of discount because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think what we need to do is we need to just very quickly ask everybody if they have found that useful from a starting 30k perspective. If there's anything in particular that they want to know that we haven't covered, that they've maybe heard about from battle reports or forums or just reading about it somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we are going over all the legions individually,
we
slowly.
Will be, yeah.
I know we've.
Sorry, Craig. I've just seen your other question about the tracked parts. So if I just do that.
Yeah, it's only about.
Yes, the tracked part is both the tracked part and the body that is longer on a Spartan.
Yeah. So we'll be going.
Can it be cheaper?
Yes. If you're really, really good and you're really, really quick, if you go on to like Horus Heresy trading groups and that on Facebook, you can grab some real bargains on there. The only thing I will say is you've got to watch out for China cast stuff. So stuff that's been recast. Personally, I don't like it, but I have had some in the past. It is of like ridiculously lower quality.
You can find some quite good ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't recommend. I definitely wouldn't recommend it.
So I try to buy genuine Forge World stuff, because if you do have any issues, Forge World are amazing with their customer service.
Forge World are very good customer service.
I mean, personally, I think Games Workshop overall has probably one of the best customer service departments in the world.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Yeah, they're very good
with their stuff. I mean, numerous times I've seen people, they send like, "Oh, this part's missing or broken in my kit." They send you a whole new kit and tell you to keep the new one, like the old one.
Yeah.
I mean, unlike my Custodes Dreadnought, there was parts broken in it and missing. I think it's because it was a brand new model. They asked me to send it back.
Yeah.
Then they sent me a brand new one. But I think that's because the model was actually only a week old at the time. So
that's kind of fair.
They probably thought I was trying my luck. I was trying my luck, but there was generally, the box arrived and it was crushed. Like there was cracks in like leg pieces and everything.
Yeah.
They just sent loads of pictures. I sent them loads of pictures and stuff. And yeah. What's a tank? I've heard it's just a thing for making terrain pieces.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it can be, but
pretty much. Well, if you look at the majority of my Death Guard bases that I'm doing at the moment, they're all old bits of.
Ask Khan what he thinks of tanks.
No, that's Dozer Blades. How does Khan feel about Dozer Blades?
Yeah, he loves them.
Yeah,
he loves Lamb Raiders. Yeah,
almost inseparable they are.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear.
I just love that even in like a 40k stuff, they still make reference to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, Khan walks past the Lamb Raider and like he like grunts at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Bloody Lamb Raiders saving Soltarvits. What are they on about? That dude's a legend though. Soltarvits is a boss. I don't care what people say.
He's okay.
He came across as a bit of a. I don't know.
He could be worse.
He could be worse.
Him and Rylanor. Yeah, bros for life. So
cool. Well, it seems like people did find it useful, and so that's good.
I mean, geez, we're at the end and we've still got 13 people watching.
I know, right?
We will definitely have to think about doing some other sort of.
Well, I think what we should do is at the very least, you and I will, when you're next around, we should do a how do you play Heresy.
That's a good idea. That's a very
maybe
good
as
idea.
a series, maybe as a one-off.
Yep, just a one-off.
But we'll just do like 500 points, 1,000 points, or whatever.
Yep,
How
and
do
we'll
you
just
play
do. It'll be a long video because obviously we'll go through everything. But I think that's a really good idea, and just kind of show them.
I'll do the counterpart. How not to play Heresy.
Oh well, it wasn't going to be a how do you play Heresy well. It was going to be a how do you play Heresy based on the rules. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. There was not going to be any of this. We're really good at Heresy kind of thing.
I mean,
That's the other thing. It's important to note that none of us are
experts.
I
am. I'm 100%.
I'm pretty fantastic.
100% loss rate doesn't count
though. Oh, God. Would you run a few small teaching games with your armies, like a squad each to teach a noob? Realistically, I'd run a minimum, like 2 troops, 1 HQ.
Yeah, just do a very small game. I mean, certainly
Battle against Battle Calf.
Certainly, I do think something that might be useful, not necessarily anytime soon, because it would be quite a long series, but go through units, so like a tactical squad, or go into specialist units, and just go over that specific unit, and then do a small little thing where you just showcase that unit against another unit to show what it can do. Just go over this is a tactical squad, and then do a video going through the process of building that squad in terms of, okay, so it starts with 10 troops and you can add X a number, X additional ones, and you can take this and this and this, and just do almost like a mini review of a troop's choice.
That sounds like a good idea to
me.
And
then just show it in a battle. Well, just like a test little fight.
Yeah. I mean, I can set up. I've got 2 of these webcams. I mean, I can set something up on the table here, while we do a live stream or something, and just basically just show you a rough idea on how to make not an expert's guide, like a noob's guide to a tactical squad kind of thing, a noob's guide to a Praetor, like kind of how we would equip it, how we would model it, and things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So if you guys think that's a cool idea, then, or if you have got any ideas or things you want us to talk about, put it in the comments. Join the West Berks Facebook group. Post up what you're working on in there. Craig's been posting up his stuff. Loads of people post up their stuff in there. It's mainly me posting at the minute because I'm always working on stuff.
Generally something new as well each time he posts.
So it's a great group. I mean, there's 204 people in there now, I think.
Yeah, it's quite a few. Yeah.
So,
and I mean, catch us on Instagram, catch us on Twitter, and all that sort of stuff. Thank you very much, Mr. Cake.
Yes, indeed.
Glad you joined us. Glad you found it useful, and we look forward to catching you in the next one.
Oh, and cheers to everyone that we saw, as we said at the beginning, about recommending us for other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's
we really do appreciate that.
That's really appreciated indeed.
Yeah. So join the Facebook group. We don't just play Heresy. I mean, we're going to be playing some tanks. We're going to. Well, I know I'm going to be playing some tanks.
No. I think we will
doing that as well after I've finished my stuff.
We've got some Age of Sigmar. I mean, I'm working on some Age of Sigmar myself. Matt's going to be working on some, and Will.
Yep, I've got some.
Have you got some?
I've got some undead stuff. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So we'll be playing some Age of Sigmar just because it's completely different from Heresy.
Yeah.
So every now and then it is good to have a break from certain games.
Absolutely.
You get burnt out. That's why I haven't touched any Heresy stuff since last year.
Yep.
Since November last year, I haven't painted a single Heresy model. So, yeah, but that's about to change. That's about to change.
Really?
Maybe because Greetings is coming up soon, and I need to get the couple of squads done that I need for that. And then Super Secret Project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah? What's that?
Hang on, I actually gave it a name the other day. Oh, what was it?
You did, yeah.
Project #0000FF. There you go.
Oh,
yeah, I believe that was it. Yeah. Great. Love it.
Yeah. Punch it in Google. you might get arrested. No, I'm joking.
It's illegal in most countries. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, Callum, if you bolt action, if you need some stuff, give me a shout. I've got shide loads of it. It's just sitting in a box somewhere at my mum's house, I think, at the minute, gathering dust. So, I know I've got a Churchill. I've got Dad's Army as well, the Dad's Army group squad. So, yeah. I loved bolt action at one point, but I kind of fell out of love with it because the game got a bit annoying. So, yeah, I play all sorts. I've got all sorts of games. I've got Warpath, which is a game that I completely forgot I had.
That's the Mantic one, isn't it?
It's the Mantic 40k, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I know that one.
Yeah. I pretty much got all the Walking Dead stuff as well from Mantic. It's still, none of it's come out of its box. So, tanks, yeah, Kablam's tanks. I freaking love the game because it's so simple. It's a nice, refreshing break from stuff. I mean, I've got the rulebook here. The rulebook is like 10 pages, and some of that's information. It's not even rules. That's 21 pages. There you go. So
yeah, we'll definitely get that going at some stage.
This is awesome, and it's super cheap. So yeah.
But yes, fantastic. So I guess if there aren't any more questions in the next
2 minutes,
say couple of minutes where we're saying our thank yous and stuff, then we'll probably call it for tonight because we've going for basically 2 hours anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to keep these to an hour and a half, 2 hours roughly.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and for all of your interactions and questions and comments and and such.
Yep. It's been very, 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 very cool.
Brilliant. Spread the word, indeed. Yes, we hope you found that useful from a getting started in heresy perspective. If you did, drop us a comment. Tell us how it helps. Show us. Tell us what it is you're working on. Join the Facebook group, as James said. Post some pictures of what you're working on. Get us on Instagram, etc. And yes, thank you everybody again, and hopefully we will catch you in the next one. If you fancy games against us,
we will.
Let us know. We, as we said, some point later in the year, we are going to be going up to Warhammer World as a group. So we'll post up information about that closer to the time once we've decided when we're going and all that sort of stuff. And you are more than welcome to come and join us.
If you want an easy win, play me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, or me, to be honest. I don't have all that much luck when it comes to heresy games. But yes, it's been very much fun for me, at least. Thanks, Craig.
The chat hasn't stopped tonight.
No, that's been amazing. Really amazing. Yeah. So thank you ever so much. That's really cool.
Really cool. Best stream we've had.
Yeah, awesome. Agreed.
Definitely.
If you think of any questions that you're thinking about the stream at a later date, and you think of something that we didn't answer, or you come across something that you've got a plan you're working on, you want an answer for it, let us know. We'll address it in a future stream, no problem at all. Or we'll reply to you on Facebook or whatever.
Send pictures. We want pictures of your stuff as well.
Pictures.
We want to feature your stuff on the live stream.
Yeah, definitely.
Something we always forget is I want you guys to send us pictures of your armies, what you're working on.
We'd love to see them and share. The stuff that you've. So that we can steal color schemes.
Steal ideas.
Yeah.
Pay people like Craig to make me some tracks. So
yes, indeed.
Well, I want pictures of your army so that we can feature them in the live stream and show people. Oh, thingy. Like John has sent us this picture to show us what he's been working on this week and stuff like that. We want to get you guys involved in the stream as much as we're in it as well. I mean, this is just a hangout for us, basically.
Well, I mean, as you see, I just sit and paint all stream anyway.
I can't multitask, so
it's just good hobby time, basically, and it means I get to chat about something that I'm really interested in, which is the heresy. So it's good from that perspective for me, and hopefully everybody finds it interesting and or useful. And we very much appreciate everybody who.
We do indeed.
Who wants to build a track ever again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love this because it gets me talking about my hobby. Because when I go on and on about my hobby to Charlotte, she just tells me to shut up.
You sort of get that eyes glazing over a bit.
But she did surprise me the other day when she's like, "Oh," she got angry and she's like, "Oh, it's like the Black Rage," and I'm like, "Yes, I know something."
That's amazing.
And I was like, "Yes, you listen to me."
Oh, fantastic! That's awesome.
She's like, "It's like the Blood Angels Black Rage," and I was like, "What?"
James, I don't appear to have admin rights for the West Berks Gaming Facebook group.
Oh, really?
So John requested to join it. So could you let him in?
I will sort out that admin right thing because you should have. I'm pretty sure I made you an admin.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, I couldn't see his request, but I'm sure you will be able to.
He's already. Just approval. There we go.
Cool. And yes, we'll definitely get a game in at some point. Presumably Warhammer World, or we can come or whatever, or you can come to us. Or
we're definitely going to arrange something at Warhammer World for later on in the year.
Yeah.
It's basically a free for all. Is everyone go in? If you book a table that you want to play on, book it. We book our own table. If you manage to get if you don't manage to get a table, I think I booked 2 last time.
Yeah.
And some people turned up. They didn't have a table, so they played on the second table that I had. And we're there for. I was there for 3 days last time, but 3 days was way too long. On the drive home, I had to stop and sleep in the car for about 20 minutes because I was absolutely shattered.
Yeah, I think sort of a Friday night, all of Saturday, leave first thing Sunday morning is probably enough.
Yeah,
but obviously, if people can only make it for a certain day and what they want to organise games, then we can obviously accommodate that as well. But anyway, as I said, more information on that will come out closer to the time anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So once we've decided when it will be, we will organise that. So thank you very much, everybody. We very much appreciate everything that you guys do when it comes to comments and watching and just getting involved. And the fact that you sit and watch us is still an absolute wonder to me. It doesn't make any sense. I very much appreciate it. And yes, Craig, by the time we go up to Warhammer World, I'm expecting a fully painted 30k army.
Yeah, Iron Hands, me and Craig beating down some traitors. Yeah.
You're on.
I might still have a beard then, depends if I get fed up with it or not.
You're on. At the very least, I'll play against the two of you.
Well, Dark Angels and Death Guard versus Loyalist Iron Hands.
I say that, or Will could borrow my word bearers.
Yeah, you just do a massive world, but just do a massive army.
I'm happy to do that.
Because then we've got
to play your word bearers.
You could always run Serrated Sun plus Reaping.
Yep.
And by the looks of it, Craig is going breaches and tanks. I like your style.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like this. I like your style too. Definitely.
It's very much my style.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think my tanks actually outnumber actual individual infantry models.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. But anyway,
Anyway,
thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah.
Any of you coming to any events in the Midlands this year? Northampton is Midlands-ish, or is that still the south? I guess I don't really know. My geography is terrible.
You're Derby way, aren't you, Craig? I think so.
I haven't got anything booked in. The only one I've got, as we mentioned, was the Greetings from the Warp one, in May. But I've not got anything planned, mostly because I don't really know of any more.
That's Midlands based, isn't it? That's it's just past Northampton way.
Yeah.
So.
But that's the only one I'm going to at the moment.
Yeah. That's the only event I'm going to this year. I'm going to the one in June as well.
Yeah, apart from possibly Callum's one. I've just he said he might have somebody dropping out, and I missed out on a ticket when they first came up, so I might be able to snag one for that. Welsh Wales.
Welsh Wales, eh?
Welsh Wales. Yes, sorry, apologies any Welsh people for that atrocious Welsh accent right there.
That was fairly bad.
It was fairly bad, yeah.
It's fairly bad.
Normally I could do a fairly good one, but that was really poor. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, and have a fantastic week of painting and hobbying and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Send us your pictures of what you do.
Yeah, please. Send nudes
to James only.
Yeah, just to
please.
James.
I'm joking. Don't.
Do it.
Yes, we very much appreciate it, and enjoy your week in the hobby, and we will catch you hopefully next
week.
Wednesday.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Where we'll be talking about Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors.
Ooh, yeah, I can't wait.
Cool.
See you later,
everybody.
guys.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you
Bye.
soon. Bye.